Last year, I released a video criticizing various adult content creators. There are certain points I made there that I want to expand upon, as I want to supply legitimate criticism of the adult content creation genre. There are lots of points to go over, so let's start with the most contentious one. They spread propaganda. Many adult content creators and their friends will blatantly spread lies and misleading information for financial gain or to garner a more positive reputation. Obviously, there are certain stigmas around sex work. Many creators online wish to extinguish the stigma, or will outright deny it existing in the first place. I'm sure some of you will remember the infamous video Idubbbz made about sex work, the one he released in March 2020 after his fans began making fun of him for having a wife who does OnlyFans. It's a video clearly made out of spite, as most of his arguments are incredibly weak. Weakest of all is his claim that doing OnlyFans won't impact your ability to get a different job.
And then future jobs, they might be a little bit harder to come by.
I think this is one of the most important opinions to highlight because it really demonstrates a severe lack of real-world experience when you're saying that future jobs are going to be harder to come by because of an OnlyFans account. Like, if you think this affects your standing or your social credibility in getting jobs, you are so sadly mistaken.
He's not simply arguing why that's wrong, he's denying that it ever happens. No substantial argument is made following this claim. Ian just asserts that doing sex work is on the same level as making commentary videos.
In my head, there would be so many other things to do and make money before stooping to this point.
I find it very fascinating that a commentary YouTuber who's known for criticizing others, much like me, would be willing to take the position that sex work is beneath them, that they aren't on the same level as sex work. That's fascinating. I find it really interesting that that's the position you want to take. I think that'll age quite nicely.
And right after that, Ian just moves on to his next point. He doesn't elaborate on why those two things are on the same level. He treats this like a socially acceptable thing without explaining why or how. It's a shame because Ian used to make really good arguments in his older videos. I wouldn't be surprised if his wife was the one who told him to make this video, because she's super insecure about how most OnlyFans women are socially viewed, and needed some affirmations. Instead, this video only made both their reputations worse. Now there's this interview I want to bring up from the YouTuber Thot, someone I used to watch a lot of a couple of years ago. He predominantly makes true crime and horror videos, with one covering the crimes of various OnlyFans creators. It is a pretty good video for the most part, though I guess Thot felt like the topic was too negatively skewed against sex workers, so he decided to interview one and get her perspective. This is actually a pretty novel idea, and it gives Thot an opportunity to humanize her. The problem I have with it is that this girl uses this interview as an opportunity to not only promote herself, but also advertise the prospects of sex work towards vulnerable young women. Thot first asks how she got into doing OF.
And how did you get into OnlyFans? And how old were you when that happened?
Oh, so I got into OnlyFans when I was it was 1 month after I turned 18. I already had OnlyFans in the back of my mind, like when I was 17, but I really went with it when I was 18. And for my first year, that shit was dead. But once I was at a different point in my life, I actually needed the money to get my first crib. That's when I started taking it more seriously in my second year.
Now after this, Lust for Goddess, who I'll just call Luna, brings up that she used to work at a daycare, and now does OF because it's more profitable for her. Throughout, she brags about her success, with Thot mentioning that she was at the top 3.2% of creators on the platform. She also almost leaks how much money she makes, but Thot warns her not to.
I was really shocked when I saw the total amount of money, because nowadays I make month on average from Twitter, from OnlyFans, Fansly, all my sites combined.
I'm gonna censor that. I don't want you to say that on the internet. I'm gonna censor that for you, okay?
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's too personal. You never tell people how much you make. That's a great amount, by the way. I just censored it, guys.
Yeah.
You guys didn't hear it, but that's fucking crazy.
Thot continuously gets her back on track, asking about the downsides of doing sex work. He inquires about the amount of harassment one gets from simps, and while she does answer it, they quickly move on to the next topic. Luna is asked why she thinks there's negative stigma around sex work.
The difference is between like sex workers and non-sex workers is that we just get paid to fuck. We just get paid to do sexual shit. People really look down upon that because, oh, she's like being sexual and she's open about it and she's showing her nude body to the world. That should be secret and whatever. And like, I feel like it's just super deviant in our society, or that's how it's viewed at least. And I just really feel like sex worker is definitely one of the oldest jobs in like history, bro.
Yeah,
and I don't think that
true.
stigma and shame is never going to completely go away. But I really hope people understand, like, sex work, personally, I stay at home and I don't go out do meetups. To people who do meetups, that's great for them. I don't judge them. There's definitely tons of areas of sex work. None of them should be categorized into like degrading terms like a prostitute or something like that. I just feel like it's totally unfair.
First of all, I love how she justifies sex work by saying it's one of society's oldest jobs. That doesn't automatically make it a good thing. Second, part of the reason why there's stigma around sex work is because of how easy it is to do. For the most part, it doesn't require any actual talent to do. Live streaming 8 hours a day is more respectful than this. Third, the definition of a prostitute is someone that engages in sexual activities for money. There's a difference between that and street prostitution, which is what I think Luna is trying to clarify. Now, my main issue with this interview comes right at the end when Tuv asks this.
To the struggling young people out there, would you recommend sex work?
Yes, absolutely. I recommend sex work 1,000% because I was dead ass like slaving at a fucking like farm, like working days on end, like fucking like bending over, hunching over, doing actual fucking labor. That was just not it. I was not making good money from that at all. Like, I'm gonna be straight up, I was not making a livable wage. I had to figure out like how the fuck can I work smarter? And OnlyFans was definitely that outlet for me to like build several income streams from doing sex work. It is definitely a great way to make money. There's so many people that be like, get a real job, bro. Like, there's people in real life and online telling me that. Dude, I've been making guap in my room, and little do they know that they're telling me get a whole job like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've been making the most money than I ever have at a 9 to 5.
Tuv clarifies that teenagers shouldn't be thinking about doing OF, which Luna pretends to agree with, despite her stating that she thought about doing it since age 17. But this whole idea that doing OnlyFans is better than your typical 9 to 5 has been echoed a lot online, especially by everyone's favorite propagandist, Hasan Piker.
But it's interesting that you call me a propagandist, because I want to play you. This was your reaction to when the hospital got
I'm
bombed.
a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
I'm not calling
I'm a
you that.
propagandist.
I'm just saying.
People like Hasan have made this topic into a more politicized one. On one side, you have the highly sex-positive leftists who ignore any actual downsides of doing sex work. And on the right, you have these manosphere podcasters that bring on random OF bimbos, and try to inaccurately conflate them with your average woman. Both sides are toxic as all hell, and are using the topic of sex work to propagandize their young audiences. Here, I want to focus on Hasan, as his bias on the subject is incredibly apparent. Hasan has various streamer friends who do OF, he previously dated a porn star named Janice Griffith, and he has an affinity for German brothels. There's a stream from July 2021 I want to mention where he scrolls through LSF, a subreddit that lives in his head rent-free. One of these posts features a livestream clip where Amounrath is hanging out with Mizkif. Mizkif's girlfriend at the time, Maya Higa, walks in and jokes about starting an OF to make more money. Hasan reads the comments to this post and gets irritated almost immediately.
Well, Miz did not like that one at all. Look at his face. Yes, he's been honest about this before. He pretty much implies he'd break up with Maya if she ever started OnlyFans law. Maya would make so much money.
What really sets him off are the comments mentioning that Amounrath is not a good role model.
Maya can start OnlyFans if she wants. She can. Doesn't mean that Miz will stay, though. Please do not degrade yourself for currency. Amounrath is hardly a good role model, and Maya's just saying this to avoid an awkward situation. What? What? Like, the people that say this work at McDonald's, dude. It's called capitalism. You are literally degrading yourself for currency every fucking day. Like, you think your job is not degrading when you're a fucking dumbass manager who's only like above you in a role because he's been there for a longer period of time than you, yelling at you about how you can't take breaks to go watch Hasanabi in the fucking bathroom. Like, you think that's not degrading, dude? You're an adult, and another fucking adult that's like only been there for a little bit longer than you is like controlling every aspect of your life.
Hasan is trying to claim that having a 9 to 5 job is more degrading than sex work. There's very clearly a difference between having a strong work ethic at your fast food job and showing all your holes online so that some degenerate simp can jerk off to you. One actually inspires some level of respect. Oh, and then we get to Hasan's takes on prostitution.
prostitution isn't even as big as a taboo as Americans think it is in most other cultures around the world. But a part of like the reason why prostitution is considered to be a big taboo is because if you're out fucking prostitutes, you're not fucking your wife. You're not staying at home fucking your wife and like having multiple children.
Right, sure, that's the actual reason, Hasan. I just want to remind you that this guy has openly bragged about going to the Artemis brothel and having sex with various prostitutes. This was all quoted in a Vice article back in 2021, 11 years later. This same article mentions how the place was raided by police in 2016 for tax evasion and human trafficking claims, which are seemingly true. Obviously, I'm sure Hasan didn't know these women are being exploited, but it's always a high probability in this industry. This is a big reason why prostitution and similar professions have the reputations they do. You can never 100% guarantee that these women are actually consenting to this. The problem I see here is that these people are over-glorifying sex work in order to overcompensate the massive amount of stigma surrounding it. They rarely, if ever, mention the negative sides of it. I remember when Amounrath was alleging that her husband was forcing her to do sex work, and her streamer friends were sucking up every word she said. Yet none of them thought critically, and ignored when Amounrath continued doing sex work after she split with her husband. Only the positives of doing sex work are mentioned significantly, as many will fluff up OnlyFans and similar platforms as a golden opportunity for young women. They want to make it seem like a profitable venture, when really it's the opposite. The average OF model makes only around $150 to $180 a month, which is way worse than what someone would make at McDonald's. Though this hasn't stopped people like Hasan from asserting otherwise.
OnlyFans is like significantly better as a way to make money than your average wage slave job.
Most OF creators rarely make any money, as it's such an oversaturated market. It's much more difficult to reach a sustainable level of success there, with most of it being short-term. These creators, and OnlyFans themselves, will gaslight young women into believing otherwise, which is really sad honestly. These women will degrade themselves for pretty much nothing, and will have a harder time finding work in the future, though some still attempt success, usually doing whatever is necessary in order to stay relevant, and this leads to my second point. They use degeneracy for clout. Because of how oversaturated this genre is, these creators will have to do some crazy things in order to stand out. This just leads into a massive competition between OF creators to see who can catch the most amount of attention possible. And there's no better way to exemplify this than the recent Lily Phillips documentary. Lily is your generic OF girl who's really only known for sleeping with the most amount of men possible on camera. She previously did it with 37 men in one day, and now wants to try it with 100. I actually recommend watching this full video. I swear, it's more disturbing than your average horror movie. This girl is clearly traumatized by the entire experience and ends up crying, though she copes and claims she's crying because she wanted to make the men she slept with happier. And yet, her management team is pretending everything is okay, with someone even saying this.
She's exhausted. She's like, the first thing she said was like, I need a Nando's. I was like,
you've earned a Nando's.
Yeah, the Nando's is ordered. She's took it like a champ. She's done so well. Every time I've said, are you okay? Do you need a breather? She's like, no, bring the next guy in.
Oh yeah, she took it like a champ, despite the fact that she was associating most of the time.
I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're gonna do this, and like it just, sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like it's not like normal at all.
I swear, this guy filming the documentary is the only one who actually cares about her well-being. I mean, not even Lily herself cares about her well-being. Shortly after this stunt, she announced that she wanted to sleep with 1,000 guys in one day to break the world record. And what's even crazier is that another OF girl beat this record like a month later. This chick, Bonnie Blue, slept with 1,057 men, but couldn't even monetize the video on the site since she couldn't verify if all the men consented. So now, Lily is going to have to top that, further degrading herself more than she already has. I'm sorry, I just don't understand how any of this is meant to be empowering. It feels more like a twisted form of self-harm. And all this will accomplish is temporary success, because nobody's going to remember this 5 years down the line. Hey, remember when Bonnie Blue fucked 1,000 men in a day? Bro, what the hell are you talking about? I'm trying to watch this Rob's Media video. He just released a recap documentary on Fish Tank Season 58. Now for a less serious example, the Adam22 situation. Adam, who hosts No Jumper, does porn with his wife, Lena the Plug, though he eventually realized that she'd make more money if she fornicated with other dudes on camera. This became a whole scandal, with Lena fueling the fire after releasing this video for her new co-star.
Hey guys, guess who I'm shooting with today? It's finally happening. Wow, I did not know you were going to do that.
Adam knew what he was getting into with this, allowing the entire internet to call him a cuck. He kept doubling down, with this exposure only skyrocketing Lena's notoriety. This continued in late 2023, when he released the show For the Love of Lena, a reality show where the winner gets to sleep with his wife. Sounds like a great Mr. Beast video. But the funniest part about all this drama is the massive amount of cope shown in a No Jumper episode featuring Sneako, of all people.
Recently, over the weekend, my girl, after 7 years of only sleeping with me and only recording corn with me, shot her first ever scene with a guy.
Oh no.
Besides me.
How did that go?
Well, it's not out yet or anything. I'm actually, like, people hearing this might be the first time they hear about it.
Bombshell. Why? Of course, I'm the podcast.
No, I told Destiny about it earlier, which is even better.
Okay.
Except he was with Crip Mac, which made it a little hard to get the words out because Crip Mac just kept talking about crippin'. But yeah, I agreed. I was like, you know what? She's only going to be doing this adult content for a couple more years, realistically. You know, why not let her do what she's got to do business-wise?
I mean, hey, Sneako is the expert. Adam should just turn the podcast into the Cuckcast, where he interviews famous cucks like Idubbbz, Will Smith, Hunter Avalone, and Destiny. I mean, it'll probably do better than Adam's most recent episodes. What Adam is relying on here is all press is good press. He doesn't care about his reputation anymore, he just wants money. And you can definitely say the same for Amounrath, who announced a year and a half ago that she wanted to sell beer made of her own vaginal yeast. Yes, this is seemingly a real thing, though I can't find any actual reviews of it, and honestly, that's probably for the best, because it sounds gross. Ah yes, the vaginal juices are exquisite. You can really taste all the guy's cum she's taken in. I give it a solid -2 out of 10. Even more gross than that is the discovery of Bowblax's OnlyFans account. I'm sure some of you are familiar with this drama by now. Former commentary YouTuber Bowblax accidentally revealed their Mr. Miss Manchi Google account, which linked to various not safe for work posts on Twitter, Reddit, and more. Many believe this is deliberately done as part of a humiliation fetish, knowing that A-loggers will quickly find it. Strengthening this theory is the contents of these photos, with Bowblax wearing dresses and other feminine clothing. He tried to pretend that Mr. and Miss Manchi wasn't him, though nobody was convinced. It's so obviously him. He didn't even shave his neckbeard in these photos. This is the only way his NSFW material would ever garner attention, as I don't think most would enjoy it besides a select few.
I mean, what do you say, bro? It's just utterly absurd. I'm blown away, but not in a good way, to be clear, okay? Enough with the jokes, not in a good way. Like, what was he thinking?
Bro could have just simply continued making Twitter verses, but he just had to take these photos of himself in a dress, choking his little Pikmin. Now the thing that all these people don't have is persistence, and that's why we have to mention Natalie Reynolds. I first covered this clout demon a couple of years ago, where I criticized her for doing degenerate things out in public in order to elicit views. She used to do this on TikTok alongside her now ex-boyfriend, although she started streaming on Kick due to her former association with Jack Doherty, who I'll get to later. Kick, in general, is a host to all sorts of degeneracy, and it's been competing with Twitch to see who can be the worst streaming platform. Natalie's whole gimmick is that she'll go out and act as a public nuisance, hoping she'll get clipped so that her actions will get talked about online. She relies solely on rage bait in order to garner attention, hoping that this will lead to people subscribing to her OnlyFans. And yes, I'm aware that I'm only giving her more attention, but it wouldn't really matter anyways. Barely anyone watches her stream, so it's not like she's profiting from it much. This is one of those exceptions to all press is good press. She could even reap the rewards of being a controversial online figure. Definitely her worst moment is when she encouraged this mentally ill woman to jump into a river, and then bounced when she seemingly started drowning.
Wait, what the fuck? Did you see her ass? What? Oh,
You said it was okay.
You said you wanted to swim.
You told me to jump in.
I didn't tell you to jump in.
Yes, you did. You said you were gonna
Thank you guys. We're gonna have you guys get off the stop. Wait, who is that? What the fuck is going on? I don't even know what's going on. Oh shit, did I fuck up? Oh shit. I can't believe she did that. Is she like mentally okay? I'm gonna fucking kill myself. She says she's drowning. We leave.
Oh, this is bad.
Dude, Natalie. Dude, I'm sorry, I didn't know. She said she's drowning. She says she's drowning.
I think you literally just murdered a lady.
No, I didn't. I swear.
I think you
No, I didn't. Let's go.
Yeah, she's just laughing about it, only pretending to care. The press she got from this is pretty terrible, and it brought her other antics into the spotlight. In one stream, she fills a truck bed with water and drives around town in it. She attempts to buy fish for this makeshift pool, though luckily the pet store clerks found out.
These little guys aren't gonna get abused, but there's a possibility to make a soup.
Just by that remark, I'm not gonna let you buy fish.
You're not gonna sell me a fish that on average lives like 2 months?
Not with proper care, they live a long time, but...
Who'd you get a call by?
Was it the NetPack snitch?
I don't know, it said anonymous, but...
Wow, they snitched.
In another stream from around the same time, she drives around in a white van that has free candy written on it. She goes around to little kids and asks if they want some.
What? I said if he wants free candy. I just asked if he wants free candy. It's a social experiment. It's a social experiment. I know, but it's a social experiment. No, but that's good. He didn't listen. I know, but it's just a social experiment.
You see, guys, it's just a social experiment. That means I can do whatever the fuck I want without having to suffer any consequences. Lastly, she films herself going into a gym without pants, trying to get patrons to notice that they're painted on.
Tell us, if you don't have clothes on, you need to be out of here, man. I do have clothes on. That's funny.
Go closer.
How's your wife? That is fine. I work in the industry enough to know. I work in the entertainment field.
He's saying you need to leave. He's not.
No, not report you, but you can see. Report me. Cool. I mean, she's covered, so.
Yeah, she's covered.
She's covered. So we're not supposed to videotape her.
I'm recording just her.
Yeah, you're the one that actually came up to me.
He's a fucking faggot, bro.
I love that they're trying so hard to paint this guy as a jerk, when she's the one coming in here wearing this, bothering these guys to farm reactions. He's being super respectful, since she's clearly breaking the gym rules and might get her dirty ass chased all over the equipment. Natalie knows this and does it to piss people off. There's an entire genre of rage bait where these lewd Instagram models film themselves working out in revealing outfits. Once a guy looks in her general direction, she'll use it as an opportunity to smear him as some sort of creep. The reactions that we'll see from this only makes them more popular. It's an easy way for these gals to promote their adult content, leading to my third point. They invade other platforms. Because of how oversaturated the adult content market is, these creators also have to market themselves on other platforms to get some customers. My issue with this comes with how overabundant they become on these other platforms. I first noticed this a couple of years ago when I was researching for a video essay about Tinder. A decent chunk of the women on there were clearly just using it to help promote their business. I recently created a dummy account on Tinder to observe this again. A lot of the time it's pretty easy to tell, as some of them end up putting their Instagram accounts in their bio. Once you go to their Insta, boom, sketchy link with their OnlyFans. It's very clear that these are women using dating apps for their business, not to find love. And if an OF girl is genuinely trying to find someone special on Tinder, well, good luck, because that stigma won't help you. A lot of guys are just going to assume you're there looking for simps, and not an actual connection. And if you don't believe me that this is a real thing, there are guys online instructing OF girls how to promote themselves on Tinder.
Why Tinder fans are different and better. Here's the deal. Tinder fans are special because they're already looking for love, excitement, and new connections. This makes them the perfect audience for your OnlyFans. Since they're coming in with curiosity and a desire for something more personal, they're super qualified for what you're offering. It's like matching with someone who's already halfway interested. Stay low-key, anonymity for the win. One of the best parts, Tinder promotion keeps things totally under wraps. If you're a creator who wants to fly under the radar in your hometown or prefer to stay anonymous, Tinder is a fab option. You can connect with fans from all over without worrying about people in your local area spotting your profile. I wonder why they'd be worried about that. It's like a secret superpower for your OnlyFans.
This article then lists tips on how to make the best profile possible in order to evade suspicions.
Step 11. Use Tinder Passport to choose the perfect location. Now that you've activated Tinder Plus, it's time to get strategic with your location using the Passport feature. You can drop your pin anywhere in the world, so choose wisely. There are two things to keep in mind. Average financial situation. You want to target areas where people have disposable income. This makes it easier to attract fans who can afford to subscribe and support you. Competition. Countries like the USA, UK, and Australia are popular, but also super competitive. While you can still target these areas, you'll want to avoid super saturated spots like Miami. Be mindful of the risks. Avoid getting your Tinder banned. One of the risks you need to be aware of is getting your Tinder account banned. Tinder doesn't love it when people try to promote other platforms, so it's super important to be careful with how many swipes you're making and the content of your DMs. Holy shit. Always keep your conversations natural and subtle, no hard sells, and definitely no direct mentions of OnlyFans while on Tinder.
This article was created only a few months ago, by the way, and there are way more just like it. At what point is this not just honeypotting? Now, Tinder isn't the only site facilitating OF promotions. You also have Twitter. Twitter has always had a porn problem, but it's definitely gotten worse in recent years when Elon began introducing paid subscriptions and monetary incentives to users. This has led to waves of porn bots spamming people's replies, trying to get users to click that sketchy link in their bio. It's pretty much become a meme at this point, with the phrase, "my pussy in bio." Another issue is the amount of legitimate OF girls paying popular Twitter accounts to promote them. It's usually gimmick accounts that rely on Twitter for monetary gain, and will take sponsorships from these content creators for extra income. The problem, as you'd expect, is that these sponsorships are not disclosed, which goes against Twitter's rules, as well as a big legal no-no with the FTC. These gimmick accounts usually get away with it, because these sponsorships are subtle enough to avoid detection. A recent example is this chick, who I'm not going to reveal the name of for obvious reasons. She's been hitting up these accounts to promote her adult content, including the Hard Images account on Instagram, a page I actually really like. They're pretending like she's an admin for the page, which is obvious bullshit. These women know what they're doing, these accounts know what they're doing, and I'm sure Twitter knows what they're doing. This stuff is incredibly common, and the sexual content shown is rarely ever censored. Unless you're a hardcore gooner, this will most likely bother you, since it's not an adult platform. It's rated 13+, meaning some of its users are underage. Even with its problems though, websites like TikTok and Twitch are even worse. Those platforms market themselves more towards younger users in comparison, something that Glitch Poachers pointed out in his video on the topic.
On Twitter, children feel out of place, like a kid in a bar. The general feeling is, you shouldn't be here, go ride a bike or something. On TikTok, adults are more likely to feel out of place, like a grown man in a McDonald's play place. The general feeling is, this is creepy. Not every adult that uses TikTok is a creep, but given the fact that provocative dances are a regular trend and the popularity of TikTok amongst kids, there's room for nefarious behavior.
Both sites have issues, but I mainly want to focus on Twitch because of how blatantly inconsistent they are when it comes to adult content. They will ban streamers for the lousiest of reasons, like if a dude goes shirtless or if someone smashes a keyboard on their head. But if a porn star starts streaming with her naked titties hanging out, they rarely do jack shit about it. Unless they get enough backlash, Twitch will maybe ban her for a couple of days. This many bans would warrant a permaban for anyone else. The most absurd example is of Strawberry Tabby, who would wear the tightest bikinis possible so you could see her entire asshole. She got banned for a week, and then got banned 2 more times for similar behavior. It's clear that Twitch is biased towards these so-called booby streamers. I mean, Twitch's CEO, Dan Clancy, has been caught having them all over his personal feed.
Suppose you want to check out the stories to see what you missed yesterday. You click there, and now you're in your stories feed. Okay?
Okay. That's very nice.
This issue got worse in late 2023, when Twitch announced their artistic nudity policy. Basically, they bent their own rules to allow nudity, as long as it could be considered artistic. The backlash caused Twitch to immediately reverse this, but it's still a problem. Shoe on Head would end up making a really good video on the so-called Twitch Thot Epidemic, where she points out how common this content is on Twitch.
So for strictly research purposes, I went to Twitch to see if this was real, and surely enough it was, and it wasn't just one streamer, it was many, it was multiple. It was the entire home page. And then when you went to click on one of the streams, it just took you there. No verification needed, no login required, nothing. And the whole internet pretty much agreed this was insane. Not everyone, we will get to that.
At the end there, she was referencing people like Denims, who are trying to downplay this entire thing. If you don't know who she is, she's part of Hasan's orbit, and is notorious for having a very smooth brain.
What does take pride in your work mean? I don't know.
Denims herself does OnlyFans, and is super defensive of the subject. She decided to react to Shu, giving various retarded takes, like trying to deny that Twitch's homepage has lots of softcore porn on it.
You want to see how much of a non-issue this is? Go to Twitch right now. Here's my Twitch homepage. Stop. Guys, I saw a woman wearing yoga pants and a woman wearing a bunny suit and fishnet Fishnets. It's all over. It's basically porn.
I love how she just ignores the other 10 streams that are very clearly softcore pornography, because it doesn't fit with her narrative. Now, a big reason why these women get so much flack is because they clearly know what they're doing. Instead of simply streaming their content on a camgirl site, they're doing it on Twitch to garner a much larger audience. Specifically, a much younger audience. The type that wouldn't traditionally go on those websites. Instead of the kids trying to find porn, the porn is now trying to find them. And of course, there's a financial incentive. These girls make it incredibly easy to find their OnlyFans, and also beg their viewers for Twitch subs by shaking their coconuts around. But if you call this creepy behavior out, their only defense is to call you a prude, and this leads to my most important point of all. Some promote their content to minors. I say some because I don't want to overgeneralize here, but there still is a concerning amount of adult content creators who promote their material to teenage boys. Now when this point is brought up in Shu's video, Denims immediately tries to place the blame on these porn-addicted teens.
Why not blame the thousands of people who watch these streams? You don't understand, they're just poor little teenage boys that are being taken advantage of. Oh, yeah. Right.
I'm completely fine of making fun of some of these adult gooner fans of these streamers, but Denims is specifically mentioning teens. Imagine using her logic when someone is addicted to gambling or drugs. Oh, it's not the drug dealer's fault, it's the kid's fault for buying drugs from them. Denims just doesn't have the capacity to self-criticize her side, she just places the blame on everyone else. Earlier in the stream, Denims also tries to argue that kids are going to find porn anyways, so what's the big deal?
Oh, but Denims, kids are gonna go on the internet anyways? Okay, do you wanna ban Pornhub too? Because that argument is fucking stupid. If you're gonna sit here and look me in the eyes and say, and goalpost, mind you, pearl clutch goalpost, well, the platform is for teenagers, it's for kids. Guess what? They literally say if you're a kid, you need parent supervision. Yeah, well, do you actually expect kids to ask for parent supervision? Okay, should we just nuke the internet of anything R-rated?
She's clearly ignoring the fact that Pornhub does not market itself as 13+, Twitch does. That is the difference, but she instead tries to create a false equivalency. She's just a disingenuous piece of shit, no other way to explain it. Now if you're terminally online enough, I'm sure you've at least heard of the Baby Gronk meme.
Livy Dunn just cheated on Baby Gronk. Livy Dunn recently attended Michael Rubin's white party and was seen hanging out with Joe Burrow and Jake Paul. Baby Gronk was angry about this and decided to rizz up Gia Duddy to get revenge. Livy saw this and begged Baby Gronk to get back together with her. Should Baby Gronk stay with Gia Duddy or should he get back together with Livy?
The whole joke is that this 12-year-old football star seemingly has the ability to rizz up hot women. What many don't know is that this is a massive scheme by his parents to promote various adult content creators for additional cash. The main woman you'll see with Baby Gronk is Livy Dunn, a gymnast who posts lots of scandalous photos of herself on Instagram. She's not explicitly a not safe for work model, but I can't say the same for these other people Baby Gronk collabs with. First is McKinley Richardson.
Alright, Baby Gronk, who has more Riz, you or Blue Tie?
Who's Blue Tie?
Who is Blue Tie?
That's what I'm saying.
I have no idea who Blue Tie is, I don't get it.
I guess I have more Riz.
You have more Riz, yeah. Comments, who has more Riz?
Then there's this chick named Sydney Smith.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know.
And we're both in Miami.
That is true.
You should come to the beach with me. Let's go.
No, you're still with Livy, and I'm seeing someone.
What? That's your loss.
If you've been watching my channel for a decent bit of time, then you might recognize this girl, Nami Mami, aka Jacqueline Laredo. She briefly appeared in Fish Tank Live Season 2, paying the producers $25,000. She was the one who sucked Airsoft Fatty's cock of a vacuum.
He's rolling over, he's giving you the butt, he's giving you the butt.
So yeah, she's definitely the type of person to do anything for attention. Obviously, my main issue with this is that Baby Gronk has a very young audience, and these girls are using Baby Gronk to siphon them to their Instagram pages, so that their OF pages can be easily accessed. Imagine if Amounrath randomly appeared in a Ryan's Toy Review video, and his parents linked to her account in the description. This is only scratching the surface, by the way. There are many other OF girls that he's done collabs with. The only person I've seen bring this up is Orange Peanut, who perfectly described society's double standard when it comes to this stuff.
Just imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine an 11-year-old girl got famous for like singing or something, and then she started making videos with male porn stars being by her side and being like, "Can you rizz me up, girl?" Like, that would be an international felony. But somehow, not a single person is talking about this 11-year-old boy being exploited as a cash grab by his parents to OnlyFans girls. I can't even imagine what's happening in this kid's brain. Like, it is gonna be permanently fried. I fully imagine that his parents look at him, they saw his like videos blow up, and they just saw a huge bag of cash, because that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe Jackie did deserve to get hassled by Frank. Though easily the worst person Baby Gronk has collabed with is Jack Doherty. Jack is a professional public nuisance, who streams himself bothering random people and making a complete ass of himself. Whenever these innocent people try to fight back, his hulking bodyguard will step in.
Get away from me. You started talking to me, buddy. Get away from me. You get away from me. Watch your kids. Go walk away.
The guy is a massive tool who makes money in very sketchy ways. One of those methods is through managing various OF girls. But Jack also makes his own porn, which he promotes on almost all of his content. Even when he got himself into a car crash, he used it as an opportunity to plug his OF. And obviously, he is a younger audience. I'm sorry, but if you're an adult and you unironically watch this guy's stuff, then I'll have the short bus come to pick you up in the morning. Not only does Jack promote his OF to his mostly younger audience, but he does it on content featuring minors. He has multiple YouTube shorts interacting with kids, where he plugs the spicy content in the pinned comment.
Alright, if you do a backflip right now, I'll buy whatever you want. Whoa, yo, that was sick. Alright, what do you want? Go over here. Bud already knows what he wants. Do you follow me? Yeah. Prove it. W Mans, let's go. What kind of shoes do you like?
Some Dunks. They got a lot here.
Natalie Reynolds, his former associate, also does similar content where she interviews kids.
Excuse me? If you prove that, you follow me right now on TikTok, I'll buy whatever you want.
I think I do. Aren't you Natalie?
Yeah? You follow me?
Yeah, I do.
Let's see, you might be lying, guys. You follow me! Let's go! I'll buy whatever you want. Where do you want to go?
I'll just have a hug.
You want a hug? I'll buy you anything and you just want a hug?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
In other videos, Nat will go up to kids and ask if they want to either kiss her or slap her on the ass.
Kiss or slap?
I just want a hug.
You just want a hug?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hug. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so cute. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Similar to Nat, OF model Scarlett Voss is also doing short-form content, where she approaches minors for street interviews. In this one, she asked this kid how many followers she has.
Guess how many followers I have for a follower back on all my platforms together.
10 million.
You follow me?
Yeah.
You gotta follow back, you're right! Alright, following him on TikTok.
Let's go.
I don't know what's more bizarre, the fact that this 10-year-old is following a porn actor on Instagram, or that his parents were paid by Scarlett to have this kid in the video. In another video, she has a whole crowd of kids guess her age.
Do you guys follow Scarlett Voss?
Yes.
Since you follow me, I'm gonna ask you all a question. You ready?
Yes.
I want you to guess my age and then go.
46.
32.
34.
28.
26.
29.
28.
19.
None of you got any of it right, so none of you get to follow back.
Even in this most likely made-up scenario, why would she want to follow them back? Most of them look 10 years old. Weirdest of all is this short, where she approaches a kid at the toy aisle and asks if he'd want something.
How old are you? Oh, he's good. Do you want to buy you something? Show me what you want. Okay, you can talk now.
Can I get this?
Oh, what's this? This is scary. It's E.T.?
It.
Oh, it. Okay, let's go. Do you like clowns?
Yes.
You like scary movies?
Yes.
But do you follow Scarlett Voss?
Yes.
Again, imagine if the genders were flipped. A male porn star in a skimpy outfit approaches a 10-year-old girl in the Barbie aisle and buys her one so he can plaster it on his lewd Instagram account. Though this is nothing compared to how strange Camilla Araujo's content is, because not only is she promoting her lewd content with minors, but with her own little brother. Camilla appeared in Mr. Beast's viral Squid Game video, having a decent amount of screen time because her number matched that of Kang Se-byok from the show. In 2023, she used her 15 minutes of fame to promote her OnlyFans, involving her entire family in the promotional videos.
So how does it feel to have a sister that has an OF?
My friends always ask me if it's pink, but I don't really know what they mean by that.
Nani?
Do you know?
Jesus Christ. Click the link in my bio. I can't.
Okay,
so how does it feel to finally know what's pink?
Well, you're a liar because my friend's saying it's not the car, so I'm gonna call Mom.
Okay, whatever.
Hey, Mom, do you know what it means by if it's pink?
I know. What do you need to know about that?
My friends are saying that it's not the car.
Come on, dude. It's the car. It's Camilla's car. It's pink.
Are you sure?
See, I told you.
100%. I don't know what you want me to say.
All right, well, I guess my friends are lying then. Thanks, Mom.
Bye.
Told you. All right, well, guess that's that. The car's pink.
It's pink.
And what do you know? She's friends with Jack Doherty. Okay, at this point, I'm starting to think this is some sort of cottage industry. Like, these girls must go to some OnlyFans school and learn the same special techniques to lure minors to their spicy content. I could literally go on all day. It's definitely the most damning thing you can call these creators out on. However, when confronted with these criticisms, these creators don't take it very well, and this leads to my last point. They're toxically insecure. Many adult content creators will not address criticism head on, and will probably end up ignoring it outright. They have no strong beliefs when it comes to this topic, and will act all wishy-washy when confronted. Case in point, Jack Doherty. Jack was doing a stream of Neon and FouseyTube of all people, where the latter called him out on his promotion of lewd content to minors.
You know how many boys, your fans, watch these girls who live in your house and jack off to them daily and have to go on antidepressants and other shit?
It's old man, don't worry.
No, it's not, dog. Be honest. You're corrupting the youth.
There's no youth.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How honest are you?
Pretty honest.
I'm gonna know if you're lying.
I'm just real. I'm just real.
That girl that lives in the house that does OnlyFans, you get a percentage of her OnlyFans.
I don't know. No shit, bro.
You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking pimp. You should be arrested, you fuck. I shouldn't even be in your house. I'm here to tell you, suck my dick. You're a bitch. I own you. I'm here to talk to the island boy. No! No! If you guys want me to leave, tell me to leave.
I'm telling you the truth.
You brought me here to talk to this guy.
The fact that Fousey of all people is trying to set him straight is fucking hilarious. I don't like any of these clowns, but at least Fousey is spitting his shit, while Jack just stands there not knowing what to say. He knows what he does is indefensible, so he copes.
Start by kicking out these girls out of their house. Give them back their percentages. You don't need that. You can make your own money. Look at your wrist, dog. You don't need money from a girl whoring yourself out.
I'm good.
So if you choose to change your ways, then as a person, you have respect for yourself. You're a man. You're an Andrew Tate. If you wake up tomorrow and you are, I guarantee you're fucking one of them.
What's that?
You're fucking one of the girls, if not both. You don't think you said, hey, before you live here, you have to fuck me?
No, that's not how it is. But
This insecurity these creators have leads them to negatively affecting others. They not only ignore valid criticism, but will misrepresent it in order to go after detractors. This is what Idubbbz and his wife did towards Froggy Fresh during their drama 2 years ago. Froggy was kicked from their boxing event, Creator Clash 2, though neither have given a consistent reason why. It could have been because Froggy trained with Sam Hyde, his Twitter spat with Ian's mother-in-law, that he allegedly missed training, or the OnlyFans joke he made.
On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans.
It's a pretty lighthearted joke, and Froggy would make more following his ban from the event. Ian didn't like this one bit.
I don't think Froggy respects sex workers. I think he has some really old, tired opinions about people who do sex work. I think he has a lot of weird opinions as well about masculinity and shit.
Ian's masculinity had been completely removed via Anissa.
A lot of it's not explicitly said, but when you listen to the jokes, it's like, oh, that's actually just your opinion phrased in a comedic way.
Yeah, that's what a joke is. You used to make good ones. Now you're whining about them because they're being targeted at your wife.
Let me just say, Anissa is just trying to exist. You know, she doesn't want anything to do with the drama. She doesn't want anything to do with this shit. And I have brought a lot of it into her life. And I take responsibility for that.
You shouldn't take responsibility for that. She's been getting into petty drama before you guys ever met. She's a public figure who is constantly talking shit, and then hides behind her husband when she receives the same level of hate back. She's not an innocent person, and making fun of her OnlyFans does not constitute sexism. He knows that, so he has to make it seem like Froggy is making fun of all women with these comments.
Even if you didn't do any of the Sam Hyde stuff, why would we want you at our event? Like, if you're just gonna blatantly disrespect sex workers and women and other fighters, saying that they're here to touch Thots, like, it is so disrespectful and shitty. I don't want to share the space with you. I don't want other people to be uncomfortable because you're there. Like, you don't get the vibe, all right? The vibe is sex workers and fighting, I guess.
I mean, when one of your sponsors is Fansly and you invite a bunch of OF girls to your gala, then yeah, that's the vibe. He was right on the money with that one. Something that many of these creators do to combat criticism is to either label their critics prudes or incels. Anissa has had to do this over the years, though it always comes off as ironic since her main demographic is involuntarily celibate men. Men who can't get sexual attention from normal women, so they form parasocial relationships with Thots online. These creators know this, with the topic being mentioned during a stream Anissa did with our pal Denims and the beast known as Caseytron. There's a part where they address how much they loathe their audience.
It's like, listen, man, do you think any of the girls who do OnlyFans want the audiences they have? I promise you, every single woman who does OnlyFans, she wishes her entire audience was women.
Yes.
That were into like, we get it, man. We get it. We also want the same thing that you want. Too bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's the dream audience. Like, I'm sorry.
It's
like, the
true.
Dream audience is, like,
is women.
I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, like, dream audience is, like, trans women, non-binary, like, are my favorite. Every time I have, like, a nice comment on Twitter, it's, like, one of the...
It's one of those, yeah. It's one of these groups, always, consistently, yeah.
But I think, like, honestly, like, young male audiences are the fucking worst audiences on the planet, by far. And I think that it's an easy way to get a bag really quickly, but I think everybody grows to regret it that, like, specs into that audience.
Womp womp. Guess you shouldn't have shown your asshole online, I guess. Reap what you sow. Now, Denims is way more insecure about this stuff than Anissa. I mean, there are multiple occasions in a reaction to Show on Head alone, where she gets visibly offended by jokes made at the expense of sex workers.
What do you mean? It takes 2 seconds to take off my shirt. Literally any woman in the world can do this, but most don't because making on a website mostly populated by minors is gross and insane. Gonna be honest.
Just kill me now. Just kill me now.
A few months ago, she got offended over a joke made by the streamer Tectone, and blew things out of proportion. I went over their hatred of each other in this video, but basically, Denims hates him because he's called her friend Frogan fat, and justly so because she said way worse stuff. Denims, in response, has called for him to get banned, and even mocked a story he told about his dad getting his legs blown off while serving in the military. Then, in November 2024, Tectone was accused by an ex-partner of abuse. Denims immediately sided with the accuser despite no evidence being presented on either side. In response to this, Tectone made this joke.
Denims talks about you? Dude, I only watch Denims clips offline. Yeah, with my pants off. Yeah, I can't watch those on stream. Yeah, just shouldn't bother.
Denims responded with, "Interesting move to sexually harass a streamer after trying to disprove your sexual abuse allegations, but we can see what Twitch thinks." Denims would echo the sentiment on stream a day later.
Making a comment like that is sexual harassment. Just because you didn't grope someone, it doesn't mean you didn't sexually harass them. Sexual assault is generally referred to touching someone. Sexual harassment is usually referred to talking about someone in an inappropriate manner. And now he's going to bring this up, and I want to address this before and after because I think it's very important. But this is another common thing that people keep bringing up, which is, does my coworker have an OnlyFans? To which I'm going to ask you a genuine question here. If your coworker had an OnlyFans, do you think suddenly it would be okay to send a mass email at your workplace, at your safe for work workplace, talking about jerking off to them? Because if you do think so, I implore you to try it again.
Okay, but this isn't a normal workplace. You guys shit talk each other on the internet. You guys clearly hate each other, and he's taking a jab at the fact that you make softcore porn. When I tweeted about this situation, someone brought up the topic of consent, which I think is retarded. Do I need consent to make fun of someone online? Because love him or hate him, that's all Tectone did. I would completely understand if Tectone got a bit of backlash for making this comment towards someone like QT Cinderella, since she doesn't openly sexualize herself online. Denims does. And you can easily use this logic against Denims herself. Did Froggy Fresh consent to her calling him a Nazi?
He was just posting Nazi shit, okay? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how else to explain it other than he was posting Nazi shit. And I'm gonna say it, honestly. I'm gonna say, good on them for kicking him from the fight. you shouldn't have spaces that are welcoming to Nazis.
Did Ethan Klein consent to her calling him a Zionist?
Dude, where's the, you guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my
Denims.
Did Grums consent to Denims placing a hit out on him?
$30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both.
The answer to this is no. And I love how this guy is implying I don't understand consent.
I just got raped by Rob's Media. Rob's Media just raped me. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Also, Denim's content is not safe for work. I can't even show most of it in this video. Denim's entire image is meant to be sexualized. The way she dresses on her streams is to make her look as sexually appealing to young boys as possible. That's why she posts cleavage pics from her streams onto her OnlyFans. These pics aren't being posted there to be studied like some art piece. She intends them to be wank material. But because the quiet part is being said out loud, she has to go to extreme measures to paint Tectone as a sexual harasser. Denims is the biggest crybaby ever. She constantly talks shit about people, but will immediately victimize herself when she gets a small amount of that hate back. Honestly, I'm glad Ethan Klein called her a bitch, because she is one. She deserves to be made fun of, because she's nothing but an airheaded Hasan dick rider who whores herself out online for a crumb of attention. Making a sexual comment about someone's publicly available sexual content is not on the same level as doing it to some random woman. She is cheapening the term sexual harassment because of how insecure she is about her online image. She should have just made fun of Tectone for playing gacha games all day. I think this drama also demonstrates how insecure these creators can be when their content is viewed by unintended people. A lot of them will present their lewd content as only accessible through a paywall, despite posting sexual content of themselves freely to garner attention. Remember Strawberry Tabby, the girl that was showing her asshole on Twitch? Well, her family found out about this, which enraged her enough to talk about it on stream several months ago.
She sent my mom my Fansly and a picture of me sucking a fucking dildo. I said it. She sent her a picture of me sucking a dildo. And it's my fault. Because she's saying my cousins were looking up my pictures. Like my male older cousins, they were looking me up. And I said, why the fuck aren't we asking them why the fuck they're looking at me? Why is it always me? Why the fuck is it always me?
Now, I can't find any other clips in the stream. It seems she purged them due to this getting clipped. But I love that she's avoiding responsibility from the fact that her family found her porn. Like, yeah, it's weird that your cousins found it, but you posted it online in the first place. There's a picture of her licking a dildo that's publicly available on her Twitter account. If you don't want your family finding out, then you shouldn't have started doing porn in the first place. She's pretending like her stuff got leaked or something. Now here's a part some of you have been waiting for, the Morgue Pie segment. I've been wanting to do a video criticizing her for almost a year now, specifically about her role in the Super Mega drama. I won't go into detail about that drama, as I mainly did so in this video here. Essentially, a bunch of YouTubers and streamers teamed up to dogpile on Matt and Ryan of the channel Super Mega. They levied many dubious allegations relating to covering up a sexual assault, homophobia, transphobia, a toxic workplace environment, and more. Now, what was Morgue Pie's contribution? Well, her gripe was that Matt didn't want to date her. Seriously, if a guy levied that claim about a female content creator, they'd get laughed at. Let's go over her livestream from July 28th, 2023, point by point. She first gives this TLDR about what Matt did to her.
He led me on severely, and he basically used me for my body and then ghosted me. And like, I know that sounds really dumb coming from someone who is in my line of work and in my profession, but like, I post my body on the internet, and it's very, very different when I become intimate with somebody.
Right after this, she claims she's demisexual, which is a bit odd to me since she's notorious for filming hardcore scenes of dudes. Anyways, Morgue Pie says Matt started talking to her in Twitter DMs, where things got flirty. They soon moved over to texting, with Morgue Pie claiming that Matt had a girlfriend at the time and didn't tell her right away. She then says that when Matt broke up with his girlfriend, she consoled him, and they then continued sexting until their eventual hookup. Oh, and then Morgue Pie claimed Matt cheated on that ex of his current girlfriend, who she names for some reason.
Like, his current girlfriend is public? Does anybody know? I don't know if like her name or her @ or whatever is public, So I did Zeph. Okay, it is public. So yeah.
Anyways, Morgpie asked Matt if he intended to be in a relationship with this girl, and he said no. They hooked up twice, and he introduced her to some of the other Super Mega guys. She'd eventually post a picture of herself in one of Matt's shirts, though she took it down allegedly because Matt asked her to. She then says he ghosted her, started bragging about the hookup with friends, and then started dating his current girlfriend. Morgpie claims that she was under the impression that Matt wanted to be in a genuine relationship with her, but instead used her for her body.
Really, with me, his only crimes were being, leading me on and, being a cheater. He's just a cheater. He's a cheater.
Now Matt would respond to these allegations a few days later, and he actually had receipts, unlike Morgpie.
For some background, in August 2022, when I was single and in between relationships, I sexted with her for one night and ultimately slept with her for 2 nights in September when she was visiting Los Angeles. During our hookups, I explicitly stated to Morgan that this was a hookup and that I had just gotten out of a relationship and I was not looking for anything, and this is something she acknowledged. I actually brought this up more than once. After she left LA to go back home, I could tell that she had caught some feelings and I did not want to lead her on, so I began to kind of distance myself. Shortly after, I also ended up working through a rough patch and started dating my current girlfriend, and I talked to Morgan even less after this. We stopped communication. I didn't feel like it was appropriate to, be talking to someone who the relationship I had was primarily sexual while I had a girlfriend. We pretty much lost all contact after I started dating my current girlfriend, and I figured that that was normal, and that's kind of just what is the typical life cycle of a hookup.
Matt expresses confusion as to why Morgpie would have had a grudge against him, as she had just texted him a month prior. It's a pretty casual conversation where they ask each other how they're doing.
Morgan replies with, "Yeah, I felt a bit sour about it, TBH, because I'm not really a hookup person either. Low-key caught me with some feels and I felt pretty used afterwards, but shit happens and that's on me, so I don't harbor any ill will towards you. I mean, I didn't expect a relationship or anything, but yeah, LOL. I responded with, I feel ya, and I'm sorry for acting in any way that made you feel used. That was never my intention, and I'm just kind of awkward with this stuff. I could tell a little that you were catching feels, and I didn't want to lead you on and hurt you." Morgan said, "I really appreciate that. I'm just a big baby, and when I open myself up like that to someone, it's because I'm really into them, contrary to what my profession may lead you to think. But I'm glad we could talk about this. I appreciate you talking about this with me, even though you aren't obligated to at all." I said, "Of course, I'm really glad we're talking about it too, because I didn't like feeling awkward or having a loose end." And she said, "Yeah, same. W." I respond with a cool sunglasses smiley face, and that was the last time we talked. So you could see why I was a bit surprised when Morgan went on stream and said what she said. Morgan not only brought my current girlfriend into the situation on stream without her consent, she also name dropped my girlfriend and revealed that we were in a relationship, which was not public information. I'm very private about my relationships, so this was a big blow. Morgan also brought my ex-girlfriend into the picture without her consent and has strongly hurt her because of this. She lied about conversations with my ex-girlfriend. She wrongly stated that I had been having a multiple-month affair with my current girlfriend while I was dating my ex-girlfriend. She lied that we had been consistently sexting when we only sexted for one night in August, and I have all of our text messages to prove that. She also lied about not knowing who my current girlfriend was, because she did know who that was and she used it as a segue to name drop her. She also falsely claimed that I was cheating on my current girlfriend, which is not true. And for transparency, on day one of me dating my girlfriend, I informed her that I had recently slept with Morgan, and she told me it was not an issue.
So yeah, Morgpie straight up lied about a bunch of stuff, and clearly only did this because of some personal vendetta she was hiding. She did not want to be viewed as someone easy to sleep with, despite a reputation of being a porn star. She had to lie about getting used for her body and then ghosted to save face, slandering someone's image in the process. Morgpie wouldn't end up responding to all of this until October 2023, right after Turkey Tom released his documentary on the Super Mega drama. She tries to push the blame onto the other accusers instead of taking full accountability.
I know that my actions were misguided. I was surrounded by people who were telling me to, come out and basically dogpile.
Oh, we're getting the reverse bus throw maneuver. Is that what's going on here? Are we going to get a bit of juice out of this? Ooh.
And
also, the idea that her actions were misguided. The idea that her actions were just misguided. No, you came out maliciously with a story to fuck with some guy because you were upset that they fucking ghosted you after fucking you. Can we stop acting like it was just a little oopsie-doopsie? Come the fuck on now.
She's simply doing this to downplay her role here, so she can fuck off and continue doing her booby streams without drama.
I thought Matt's ex was in the public sphere, and she wasn't.
Oh my god, man. So she didn't even know the full details of this person she was talking about. Just stick to porn, honestly. Just stick to porno. If you got your little feelings, keep them to yourself, love. Alright? Keep them to yourself, sweetheart.
This drama seems to still be at the back of her mind, as just a month ago, this coverage of the stream by Chud Logic was removed via a copyright takedown request. A company called Rolta issued the takedown on behalf of Morgpie. This is an Estonian copyright protection business specializing in adult content. It seems like they usually deal with OnlyFans leaks, but this time they struck down a video that clearly falls under fair use. Chud wrote, "I only used about 17 minutes of the footage from an hour-long VOD in a 53-minute video. This makes it far more likely that this is a targeted misuse of the copyright tools to silence commentary and criticism." His counterclaim wouldn't get resolved for another week, and Morgpie has yet to issue a public statement on the matter. Obviously, there's a chance that she did not issue the claim, and instead could have been done by a copyright troll or someone with a personal vendetta against Chud. That sort of thing has happened before, though Morgan's silence on the matter makes me believe otherwise. She definitely has a motive to do this, wanting a video that makes her look bad removed off the internet. This failed because unlike many reaction channels, Chud actually adds to the content he reviews. I find it ironic though that someone would be this protective over this boring ass stream, since Morgpie is the one committing copyright infringement. She plays copyrighted music throughout many of her streams, which is probably deliberately done to dissuade people from reacting to it. This is a video I've been passionately working on for quite some time now, as I truly wanted to get to the bottom of why I dislike these creators so much. Because unlike what these critters and what their friends will say, it's not for some superficial reason like that I'm sexist, or think that all sex workers are entirely beneath me. The core issue is that these people are aware of the negative stigma surrounding them, and instead of accepting it and trying to differentiate themselves from it, they choose to dismiss it completely, and even ignore it existing in the first place. None of these people actually want to have a nuanced conversation on the topic. They either won't engage with criticism of sex work because they financially depend on it, or because it can poke holes in their political beliefs. The ultimate defense against this stigma is for these creators to just be self-aware and honest about what they do. Many of the examples listed use coping tactics to handle hate or backlash, or will use deceptive tactics to get what they want. And then, they feign ignorance while wondering why sex work is seen as degrading. It's why most of these creators label themselves as content creators. They have to lump themselves in with other digital creators instead of outright calling themselves sex workers. Obviously, the title of this video is meant to be inflammatory. I don't actually hate every single sex worker. The common link between the ones I don't dislike is that they're self-aware and can make jokes about what they do. This is why you don't see someone like Riley Reid get as much hate as someone like Amounrath and Morgpie, because she can laugh about herself. She even went as far as to make skits of the Raka Raka twins poking fun at how degrading sex work is. She doesn't seem to hide any of this stuff, which makes her seem like an actual person and not some deceptive liar looking for a quick buck.
So a lot of times when people ask me if they should do porn, I tell them no. I tell them that it makes life really hard. It makes dating really hard. It makes your family life really hard. It makes intimacy hard. You're putting yourself out there and the world is now judging you. You have to be okay with being shamed every day of your life. I don't even want to have children because I do porn, because I'm worried of the way that people will treat my child. The fact that these are things that I think about because the people are so fucking shitty sucks. I don't know. A lot of times I tell people you shouldn't do porn because there's just a lot of negatives that come out of it, and you have to be a really strong person to be able to be okay with it.
Going back to Fish Tank Live, one of my favorite people from that show is Shinji, a former Japanese porn actor. The dude was incredibly transparent about it, and would readily joke about it.
Shinji? Yeah, that's his name. Shinji? He's a porn star in Japan, and that's like not a joke. He's got some wild. He's got some wild.
You a porn star?
Yeah. Wanna touch my dick?
Listen, I don't play gay games. Junior, I don't play no motherfucker.
Hello, this is India, sir. Please, sir, I need help. I am Indian, please, sir. I am Indian. Please help me, sir. I am Indian,
You might
please.
want to touch your dick, but I don't. Yeah. Nah, they ain't brought no other gay
Okay,
nigga.
just
Like,
as soon as you touch it, your hand goes blurry, too.
If you take anything away from this video, is that these creators can be reasonably criticized. Many are stuck-up, insecure liars who are willing to do almost anything to get that bag before their 15 minutes of fame expires. I'm sure 10 years from now, we'll see a wave of videos come out where former sex workers describe their regrets when joining the industry, instead of doing something more fulfilling with their lives. Though maybe that's rich coming from me, cause I just made an hour-long video about sex workers. Anyways, subscribe for more content, and cue the incoming comments about how I'm an incel because I dared make fun of women.
If you jack off, you are beta as fuck. Wallahi.